Our next speaker is Ross MacLeod.
Hi there, I'm Ross MacLeod, standing for East Ward. When I received this question, I found it's a question I find hard to answer without feeling slightly like a hypocrite, because I have been very fortunate in my life. I have never been in poverty thanks to the hard work of my parents. I'm not someone who's ever gambled, but I do support the sinking lid policy. I'm not someone who drinks, but I support reduction in the liquor outlets. So I tend to look at these issues from a more objective viewpoint. We can reduce all these things, but unless we're looking at the reasons behind these addictions, you're not going to find solutions. People will just shift them around to try and fill that gap in their life. An interesting point I remember about gambling is that recently there was scientific research done, MRI studies on the activity of people's brains who are problem gamblers. And they discovered that they weren't addicted to winning, they were addicted to losing. When they lost at gambling, that was when that part of their brain lit up. So it's not about trying to make the gain, it's actually a direct addiction there, and it's about trying to fill that space in their lives. And I think that is something which needs to be filled through community, which is something we need to work at in terms of poverty as well. It's creating a sense of identity within the community, letting that sense of community grow. And that is done by supporting the community groups, the smaller groups that have been mentioned by almost everyone here tonight at various levels. And I think the council directly needs to be supporting them financially as well. It's all very well buying big buildings, but in a simpler term, you could be supporting so many of these smaller groups because they don't need much a lot of the time. They just need that small amount to get themselves going. So in terms of smaller things, which I think need to be done, there's public transport. We've made big strides in public transport in the city. We need to make that better. We need to make sure these people aren't isolated if they can't afford their own cars, so they can get around the city. I am a supporter of, as a recent student, I've seen some terrible houses, and I know that people who live in poverty must live in probably even worse houses. There needs to be very good building standards so that people can't just rent out bad buildings. There's a government program to support insulation for buildings. Wouldn't it be great if, as a council, we can support that subsidy even more so people can get better insulation, better houses, save power, save money? I think there should be more community gardens directly supported by the council. They're a community activity, they teach people skills, and they supply food for the communities. I think we should be supporting murals in councils where there are walls. If people have that, if that is the community's wall, if they have designed that, you will have greatly reduced graffiti because it's yours. It's not somebody else's, it's not a blank wall, it's not a sign of anything else, it's yours. So I think these are all small solutions, and it's a great number of these small solutions that need to be implemented. Because that is the way you build community identity and pride, and that is the way you build them. And that's why I'm running council. Ross MacLeod, East Ward.